The Ferrari sputtered one final time before rolling to a silent stop on the shoulder of Interstate 75, just outside Columbus, Ohio. Vivian Carter gripped the steering wheel, staring ahead in disbelief. She was a self-made millionaire, CEO of a luxury real estate firm, a woman who could buy almost anything she wanted, except help, apparently. Her phone showed one bar of service, then none. The late afternoon sun beat down mercilessly, and traffic rushed past without slowing. Vivian stepped out, heels sinking slightly into the gravel, frustration tightening her chest. She popped the hood, though she knew nothing about engines. Steam hissed upward, mocking her. Every passing car felt like another reminder of how alone she was. In her world, problems were solved with money and phone calls. Out here, neither worked. She waved once, then stopped, embarrassed by the desperation. As she leaned against her car, arms crossed, she whispered to herself that someone would come. Someone always did, but minutes stretched into nearly an hour, and hope began to thin. That was when she noticed the old blue pickup pulling over behind her Ferrari. It rattled as it stopped, paint faded, bumper dented. Vivian's first instinct was caution. From the truck stepped a man in his early 40s, wearing oil-stained jeans and a plain gray t-shirt. Beside him hopped down a little girl, maybe 7 years old, with messy brown pigtails and curious eyes. The man raised a hand politely. "Car trouble?" he asked. His voice was calm, unassuming. Before Vivian could answer, the little girl tugged on her father's hand and leaned closer to Vivian, lowering her voice as if sharing a secret. "Don't worry," she whispered earnestly, pointing at the man. "My dad can fix it." Something in her tone, so confident, so pure, caught Vivian off guard. She felt an unexpected lump form in her throat. She nodded slowly. I'd appreciate that," she said, surprising herself with how relieved she sounded. The man introduced himself as Mark Thompson and quickly examined the engine. His movements were practiced, gentle. The girl, Lily, sat on the guardrail, swinging her legs and humming softly. Mark explained that the radiator hose had burst. "Happens in this heat," he said. "I've got a spare in the truck. Might take a bit." Vivian blinked. "You just carry one." He smiled. "Comes with the job." She later learned he ran a small auto repair shop in a nearby town. As Mark worked, Vivian found herself talking, really talking, for the first time in years. She asked Lily about school, and Lily proudly explained she wanted to be an engineer, like Daddy but for big buildings. Vivian laughed softly. She realized how long it had been since anyone spoke to her without knowing her net worth, her status, her influence. Here, she was just a woman stranded on the road, and strangely, that felt freeing. Within 30 minutes, Mark wiped his hands on a rag and closed the hood. "You should be good now," he said. Vivian stared at him, stunned. "That's it." He nodded. "That's it." She reached into her purse and pulled out several $100 bills. "Please," she said, holding them out. Mark shook his head firmly. "No, ma'am. Just helping someone out." Lily beamed as if her dad had just performed magic. Vivian hesitated, then slowly put the money away. Something about the refusal struck her deeply. She had spent her life equating worth with wealth. Yet here stood a man who fixed a Ferrari on the roadside and expected nothing in return. As she started her engine, it purred smoothly, alive again. She rolled down her window. "Thank you," she said quietly. Lily waved enthusiastically. "See, I told you my dad could fix it." That night, Vivian couldn't sleep. The image of Lily's confident smile and Mark's steady hands replayed in her mind. She thought about her penthouse apartment, her empty rooms, the awards lining her walls that no one ever saw. The next morning, she did something unexpected. She drove to the address Mark had casually mentioned, the small auto shop on the edge of town. It was modest, with only 2 bays and a faded sign. Inside, she saw Mark struggling with an old engine while Lily colored at a small table. Vivian learned the shop was close to shutting down. Rising costs, medical bills from Lily's mother's passing, and outdated equipment were slowly burying him. Mark never complained, he simply worked harder. Vivian felt a familiar spark, the instinct to solve problems, but this time, it felt different. It wasn't about control. It was about gratitude. Over the next few weeks, Vivian returned often. She insisted on paying for minor services, brought lunch, listened more than she spoke. One afternoon, she asked Mark what his dream was. He shrugged. Just keep the shop running. Maybe expand one day so I can hire help. Vivian,